If I had my way, everything would be so nice. This world would be like Paris. No, it would be a paradise. No one would ever have to say, I'm gonna get my wish someday. All one would have to do is say, this is my order, if you may.
Welcome to another episode of The School Without Walls. I am Antonio Hobbs, founder and host of this educational program. My guest today is Miss Stephane S, a student here at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. Matter of fact, she's one of my Spanish students. Hola, ¿cómo estás, señorita?
Hola, ¿cómo estás, Dr. Hobbs?
Yeah, she speaks Spanish well. Glad to have you with us.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Right. But before we go into the interview, I have some things I'd like to say to the public about the purpose of the program. Matter of fact, I think what I'd do, I'll just explain it to you.
Okay.
And the public will hear it, won't they?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this program called The School Without Walls is sponsored, it's an initiative of a 501c3 corporation that I founded called, and the acronym is HELP. It's designed to do exactly that, to help. But my main concern is to do whatever I can to help the African American community, which is behind due to their history and experience in this country.
Right.
And I want to encourage persons in leadership like pastors to sort of, if you will, change gears from just 11 o'clock service and having a good time in the Lord and try to complete Christ's mission here, and that is to love one another and have an outreach. And these are some of the things that I want all persons who are concerned about mentoring to do, is to train young people the importance of good work ethics. We have a lot of youngsters your age don't want to work unless it's a real nice job and big money. You have to kind of, I had a principal that told us we have to stoop to conquer. You can't come out to conquer somebody and they're stronger than you just by being bold, walking up to them. They will beat you to death. You got to be smart.
Yes.
So teaching that they have a moral duty and an obligation to obtain and maintain a system of moral values. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
That's very important.
Yes.
Number two, have them to understand that all people are not college material.
That's correct.
Did you know every person that grows up and gets grown is not college material?
No,
but they can be successful.
They can.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is what we're trying to get, mainly preachers who have access to more of our people than anybody else, to try to get somebody in that congregation who has the skills to do these things. Teach them the importance of trade schools. There are so many places now where, see, the main thing is making a decent living.
Right.
An honest living. Well, you can be a beautician. What else can you be?
A mechanic.
Mechanic. You know, we have all these cars in the world.
Right.
And actually, you can learn the skill and have your own business. You don't have to have a great big shop.
Right.
I know some people in their backyard make a living.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Another one. Plumbing.
Plumbing, yes.
Electricity. We need it everywhere. So these are the things we're trying to encourage them to do. And it doesn't take forever to learn it.
It doesn't.
No. You can be, they tell me you can be a plumber within about 2 years of training. Well, and the same thing with electrician, all that. But if you have the skills to go to college, fine. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if you got the skills and desire and so forth, we got to have some people in college. Teach them good conversational skills. We're going to talk more about that with another student who's an English major. I hope he comes in.
I hope so too, Dr. Hobbs.
Right, yeah, because we really need to deal with those skills. I'll mention this briefly. As African American people, we have a problem with the past participles. We confuse it with the past tense. So I'll discuss that in more detail later. All right, number three, to teach them that the surest and safest way out of poverty and economic stress is what? What do you think the surest way to be not to be poor what is one of the surest things you can do as a youngster growing up?
Education.
Get educated. You've got to learn some skills.
Knowledge.
Yeah, you can't do like my granddaddy did. All my granddaddy's generation had to do to be successful is to want to work.
Yeah, work.
There were a lot of jobs out there. but we will never have enough jobs for all of the people who are prepared for their jobs.
Right.
We have 3 minutes to talk about you now.
Okay.
Okay, you are from?
I'm from Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, and your parents, what background? Grandparents or mom
My
and
grandparents, well, my mom, she's from Chicago, Illinois, born and raised. She moved to Memphis about 25 years from now, almost. And
25 years ago?
25 years ago.
You were a little girl then, weren't you?
Yes, I was a little girl.
You probably wasn't born 25 years ago.
No, well, I was thinking, I was
They
in the making.
Okay.
Right, I was in her room.
Okay,
So, my biological father, he's from Fordyce, Arkansas.
Okay.
And my stepdad, he's from Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been there?
No, sir, I haven't.
I've been there.
I've been to Boston,
Massachusetts. That's
Yes,
pretty
I've
close,
been
isn't it?
Pretty close,
Pretty
but I
close.
haven't really been
to Pennsylvania.
No, sir.
Okay, and you graduated from the high schools in Tennessee, did
Yeah, I graduated from City University School of Liberal Arts, college preparatory school.
Is that right?
That's right.
Now tell me a little bit about that. We have about a minute and a half. Did you start in that school as an elementary, or you went to that school after so many grades of public school?
I went to that school during 9th grade. I started off. I was the first founding scholar of that institution. So we started I started in the 9th grade, so 2004.
And you did 4 years in that school.
Yes, sir.
And you studied. The emphasis was art.
Wasn't so much art, just a liberal. The
Arts.
basic math, science.
Was that a private school?
It was like a preparatory school. It was preparing me for college.
Oh, I see. So you missed the traditional 4 years of high school, right?
Right.
You didn't go through that. Okay, we have 1 minute, and tell us what your major is here.
My major is visual arts, and I'm a graduating senior.
When do you expect to graduate?
May 10, 2014.
Okay, very good. This period should be just about up. When we come back, we will continue talking about your plans as far as education, and then we will get into something that I heard that you're somewhat Afrocentric in your thinking.
Yes,
I want
sir.
you to talk about that.
Okay.
We'll be back in just a few minutes.
How did UAPB prepare me? The Business Marketing Program. Here at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, the faculty works very close with us, making sure we reach our full potential. With the help of Career Services, I was able to obtain an internship with Hope Federal Credit Union. This opportunity allowed me to travel to different states and learn additional skills. The company was so impressed at how talented and prepared I was as an intern that they offered me a full-time position as program officer. That's how UAPB prepared me.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
My new mom and I have a lot in common.
The great outside.
We both love the outdoors.
So shiny.
That's not a flower. We both love geology.
Oh, look. An igneous one.
That's not a rock. And she knows a lot about wildlife.
A labradoodle.
That's not a dog. Hanging out has been kind of fun.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
I wish I was in school. If only I had a math test today. I'll stay after class.
I'll clean the chalkboard.
I wish I was in school.
School ends, but free lunches for your kids don't have to. Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/summer meals for help.
Those of you who have just joined us, I'm Antonio Hobbs, the host and founder of this educational program called The School Without Walls. My guest today is Miss Stephane Weathers, a student here at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. On the other side of the break, we were talking about you and your early education.
Yes.
Now that you're in the university, I understand you're an art major, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Tell us a little bit about your type of art and why you have interest in art.
Well, I first started off coming at the UAPB as a biology major.
Okay.
As time progressed, I really felt like that's not what I'm placed on earth to do.
Okay.
I needed to tell a story. And me being a biology student, that wasn't really me telling the story. So I really had to find and dig deep in what I truly love. And art is my passion. And I love art, whether it's African art, Renaissance, or modern. Art I love it. It's really something that I look forward to doing every day.
I think you said something that is very significant. You found something that you love to do, and that means that is your gift, your talent.
Yes, sir.
And if we follow that, we're going to be successful, because the key to being successful is, number one, to be able to make a living for yourself and be happy.
Right.
Be content.
That's correct.
And you felt you couldn't have done that in the biological sciences, right?
No.
You might have made money, but you perhaps wouldn't have had the contentment, right?
Right. That's
correct. Very important. As we say in Spanish, muy importante, huh?
Yes,
it's so hard sometimes for me not to speak Spanish because it's a part of me. Yes. So that came out, so I said it, okay?
Okay.
And that's where I want you all to be someday. You have to think in the two languages. Now, let's talk about this. There's a word on the street. That you're Afrocentric.
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, what in the world do you mean by being Afrocentric in your thinking?
I'm bold. I take my history serious.
Okay.
And I'm a black woman that knows who I am and know that I don't have to change who I am to become something that society wants me to be.
I see. You realize that's quite a challenge, isn't it?
Yes, it's challenging every day.
You're going against the grain in this culture. So often the culture wants to determine how individuals within the culture should dress and behave, right?
Yes, sir.
To be more specific, what are some of the things that you feel that African American women might need to make some adjustments in? What are some of the things?
More, I would say, their hair.
The hair?
The hair.
Okay.
The way they dress, maybe.
Let's deal with the hair for a little while. When you said the hair, be more explicit. Explain to the public out there, what do you mean by the hair?
A hair, for a black woman, our hair is everything. It's a part of us. It represents who we are. You know, when we get up, we always fix our hair. We'll spend 15 to 20 minutes, you know, working on our hair. And if your hair is not right, most of the time, we as black women, we don't want to go out or we don't want to do, you know, different things because we feel our hair is not intact.
Now, speaking of hair now, what about the wigs and the hair of other races? Do you encourage that or discourage it? If so, why? See, a lot of I see more African American women with hair that's contrary to their hair than I see any other ethnic group. I was told that all ethnic women might wear wigs, but they're like their hair, but just maybe a different color. But you can almost always tell when an African American woman has a wig on because it's like maybe a person from Asia, Brazil, or somewhere else, which is contrary to their facial profile. What do you say about that?
That's really, really hard to say because before I'm 10 months natural, and before I was natural, I partake in buying weave and wearing weave or
a wig.
A wig.
Complete wig. The long ones hang down to your waist.
Yes, sir. Yes, I did. Yes, sir.
What changed? What caused you to change from that?
I felt at one particular part in my life, Dr. Hobbs, I wasn't satisfied with who I am and what God made me, you know.
When you were doing the long wigs and all that. You was trying to be something else.
That I wasn't.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And it was something that was really hard for me, you know, because society wanted us to be this light-skinned woman with long, dark, beautiful hair or blonde or with blue eyes, and that's not who I am.
It's not real, is it?
Right, and I really did research on, you know, afros and just looking back at what I was when I was young, I didn't have a perm, you know, when I was 3 or 4. I had curly, natural, straight, kinky hair. And at that time, I really knew that my hair was healthy. It wasn't broke off, it wasn't damaged. So that really took, it took a lot of me to change, to do a transition, because I had to be confident in myself.
Somewhere along the way as you grew up, somebody convinced you that perhaps you were more attractive when you had the hair like the other women. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Is that the reason?
I felt that I was liked more by guys, or I felt like I was beautiful then because I had long, you know, weave hair.
Somebody else's hair.
Somebody, right.
So the opposite side of that would be you would feel that you were looking ugly back when you went to, so that was a problem.
Yes,
we're going to stop for break, and we'll be back for the final part of this.
This is the moment I knew his future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Hi, I'm Sunflower Wilson, a recent graduate with a degree in fisheries biology. As I begin working on my master's, I am confident in the skills and lessons that UAPB has taught me through instructors like Dr. Hawkness.
Sunflower challenged herself with a rigorous course curriculum. Her efforts led to numerous presentations in front of scientific audiences at state and national venues. A National Science Foundation internship gave her the opportunity to go to Alaska and work with scientists examining crustacean physiology. UAPB prepares its students for opportunities like these every day.
UAPB prepared me.
Those of you who just joined us, I'm Antonio Hobbs, host and founder of this educational program called The School Without Walls. My guest is Señorita Stephanie Weathers, a student here at the University of Arkansas. She's one of my Spanish students. ¿Cómo estás, Stephanie?
Muy bien.
Bueno. Just before the break, we were talking about the African culture. What else is it in the culture that you are conscious of that perhaps more of us might need to become conscious of other than the hair?
Like I was saying during the break, the beauty of our skin. Most dark-skinned young ladies, we have problems with our skin. We feel like we're too dark, we're not light enough, or they don't really put the dark-skinned girl in the movies, you know.
And that's sort of true about the movies. If you notice, there are some exceptions, especially in recent years, but it used to be if you were in the movie or if you were cover girl on some of the ebony magazines, you were the lighter ones, and even the employed persons.
Right.
You just think about the number of African American women that you see on television. I can remember when all of them were of the lighter hue, but now you see a slight change.
Yeah,
you see some of the brown, dark skin. So would you consider that as progress?
Yes, I really do. I do. From watching 12 Years a Slave, seeing Lupita, that's a really big progress to seeing an African, a dark-skinned African, beautiful young lady, which she won the Oscars, by the way. Congratulations to her. That's a huge process.
Right, I saw that on the television. She won an Oscar, and she was not anything like the traditional beauty, was she?
No, she was breathtaking.
What do you think is causing that change in our culture? What is causing people to see beauty other than the European, through the eyes of the European?
Because we were here first, Dr. Hobbs. Okay. So it's like we're going back to what...
Going back to what once was, right?
Right.
Okay, that's an interesting thought. I'll tell you what I'm going to do for you. You can have a seat there with the young man. I'm speaking on ship right now. I was talking to the lady there. But I saw a very attractive black-skinned lady, dark-skinned lady, and I wrote a poem I want to share with you in the public. It's called "You Are My Ebony Beauty." You give so much pleasure to my senses. As I come face to face with you, I am as a lucent mass that slides your way. I have no defenses. If all the ladies were blessed as you, my ebony beauty fair, there would be no need for this business for the skin, the nails, and the hair. Out of all the women King Solomon had in line, I'm sure he would have chosen you #1, lovely maiden sublime. I was inspired to write that.
I like that, Dr. I like that.
Thank you, thank you. Matter of fact, I recited that to my class today, along with some other poems, and I got me a sponsor. One young lady said, we can make a lot of money off of that.
Wow,
so we'll
there
see.
You go.
Got me a sponsor now.
Yeah.
Now we have about 5 or 6 more minutes. Let's talk more about the African American community and Afrocentricity. You stress the importance of us. I believe what you're saying is just be what you are and take what you are and beautify it in a natural state, rather than emphasizing somebody else's beauty.
Right, correct.
Because that's what you're doing, aren't you?
Yes. You're taking somebody else's job.
Now, I don't think people have thought about that. You're stepping out strutting and saying, it's like having a sign, oh my God, the blondes have more fun. You got blonde on, blonde, have a blonde wig on, and things like that nature. Okay, we have, how many more minutes, Randy? I want you to talk to us. We have 4 more minutes. Talk to us. Give us some advice. Anything that's good. No, let's do this. Tell me about your art. We never did go into that. Tell me about the type of art you do and why.
As an art student, I am a visual artist, which whether it's photography, sculpting, painting, but my focus is painting, and I paint African art, whether it's the trials and the tribulations of slave or slavery. I haven't came up with a title yet, but I'm in the midst of coming up with a title. But I have 5 themes. The first theme is kings and queens, because we first started off as kings and queens. And then once as being kings and queens, we were taking from our native land. And we were chained, and that's the second one. Is called Chained. The third one is called, I think it's called the Civil Rights. I'm not mistaken. No, it's called Black and White, because we were, after being chained, we were considered as black and white. You know, we had the blacks and you have the whites. And then this, the fourth one, I believe, is Civil Rights. And then the last one is Celebration.
How do you capture that on a canvas? For example, Civil Rights. How do you paint? With civil rights?
Well, I work with silhouettes. That's silhouettes? My area. Silhouettes. I'll take many silhouettes, whether myself or other students that I see that has potential of a really strong silhouette. And one particular piece that I'm doing is called I Am a Man. And
once a person sees that, what does he see? What do you draw? I am a man. What is that?
Well, first you have the silhouette of a young man, and then in the inside of it you have I am a man.
Do you mean actually written?
Yes, sir. In bold red letters.
Okay, and the silhouette is all the painting, right?
Yes, sir. Painting. That's the essence of it. I take the beauty of a side profile, because we all, even when we was on auction blocks, they always would have us either the front profile or the side profile, or the back.
Okay, we have about a minute now. Where did that come from? How did that enter your mind? That's quite different.
It really is different, and it's really unique. And I guess just the good Lord just blessed me with that knowledge to have, and to just go.
It's completely creative, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You couldn't copy what you're doing. It's creative. No. Okay, we have 1 minute. You have the last word. I'm glad to have you here with us.
Thank you.
What can you say to the young people today to make them be the very
Well, all I can say, Dr. Hobb, is be you.
Be yourself.
Be true to who you are. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. And we as African Americans, we can do anything. I
When
mean
we set our
anything.
minds to
Set
do
our
it.
minds to. And through Jesus Christ, we can do wonders.
In other words, I guess I can paraphrase this. Do anything that is right, and good and decent, right?
Yes, sir, correct.
Yeah, you want to make sure it's good, right, and decent. Okay, can we stop on that note, Randy? And let me thank you for being, and may the good Lord go with you. And in Spanish, vaya con Dios, eh?
Thank you. Gracias.
Okay.